Mansa Musa was, by any measure, the wealthiest human being who ever lived. But what if his gold didn't just buy the world? What if it discovered one? Historically, the Mali Empire flourished through overland trade and consolidation of power within West Africa. While legends hinted at Malian voyages into the Atlantic, these remain tantalizing, unproven tales, with Musa having already completed his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca and turning his gaze elsewhere. In this alternate timeline, a world of speculation, not history, Mansa Musa takes his predecessor's rumored westward voyages seriously, investing immense resources into shipbuilding and navigation. He sends well-equipped expeditions to seek new lands, firmly believing in a world beyond the horizon. Malian engineers, using advanced knowledge of currents and star charts, developed sturdy, ocean-worthy vessels, massive ships unlike anything the Europeans of the era had yet conceived, built for endurance on open waters. Gold from the empire funds these ambitious projects, attracting skilled artisans and sailors from across North Africa, the Saharan trade networks, and the broader Islamic world. The Malian fleet prepares for its epic journey, a site of unprecedented maritime power. The first Malian fleet, commanded by the emperor's chosen admiral, inspired by the legend of his predecessor who never returned, they braved treacherous storms and the terrifying vastness of open ocean, pushing the boundaries of human navigation. After months at sea, land is sighted, lush, green shores unlike anything they had ever known. The expedition arrives in what we know as the Caribbean, making landfall on a vibrant island. Initial contact with the indigenous Taíno people is cautious, marked by curiosity and wonder on both sides. The Malians offer gifts of intricately crafted metalwork and textiles. The Malians establish trading posts, fascinated by crops like cassava and maize, and the Taíno's sophisticated conico farming technique. In exchange, they share metallurgy and oral tradition skills, while eagerly learning the Taíno's knowledge of tides, land, and plant medicine. Subsequent expeditions push further, exploring the coasts of the vast continental landmass. They encounter diverse cultures and abundant natural resources, fertile land, exotic flora, and hints of vast mineral wealth lying further inland on the great continent. After years of waiting, Mansa Musa finally receives news of these discoveries with great fanfare, seeing it as divine affirmation of his rule and vision. He declares these new lands the Western Dominion of the Mali Empire. Through careful negotiation and mutual agreement with local leaders, permanent settlements take root, not as colonies of subjugation, but as joint centers for trade and cultural exchange. Malian artisans and scholars migrate across the ocean, bringing their skills. A genuine exchange unfolds. Malian ironworking and textile techniques blend with indigenous goldsmithing traditions, already centuries in the making. New hybrid forms of art and music emerge from this creative collision. A new transatlantic trade route flourishes, transporting goods, ideas, and people between West Africa and the Americas. Malian ships become the backbone of a thriving transatlantic trade network, the first of its kind in human history. Centuries before European powers would even dream of such ventures, Mali stands at the center of a world they helped reshape, confident perhaps to the point of overreach. However, not all interactions are peaceful. Powerful indigenous confederacies, including the dominant Tepanec Empire of central Mexico and the growing Andean kingdoms of South America, view the Malian presence with suspicion. They refuse to submit to any foreign dominance. The Malians face their first significant challenge when attempting to push inland from the northern coast of the great continent, toward the territory of a powerful Amazonian river federation. Fierce warriors repel the Malian scouts. A major crisis erupts when a Malian envoy attempts to negotiate with the Tepanec Empire, the dominant power of central Mexico, for access to resource-rich territories. The Tepanec lords, offended by the Malians, perceived arrogance, execute the delegation. This act of defiance sparks a localized conflict. Malian forces, though technologically superior, struggle against the Tepanec warriors, numerical advantage, and intimate knowledge of the highland terrain. News of the defeat reaches Mali, causing political instability and debate within the imperial court. Some advisors argue against further costly expansion, preferring to consolidate existing gains. His successor, guided by Musa's written vision, doubles down on the commitment, sending more seasoned commanders and a larger fleet. He knows that retreat would signal weakness and jeopardize their transatlantic vision. Meanwhile, the Malian presence brings unintended consequences. Diseases previously unknown in the Americas begin to spread, though less devastating than future European epidemics due to limited exposure in different disease pools. The Kingdom of Cusco, a rising Andean power that would one day become the mighty Inca Empire, observes the conflicts from afar and begins to strengthen its own highland defenses. Malian settlers also face environmental challenges, adapting to hurricanes, unfamiliar flora, and fauna. They learn from indigenous knowledge to survive and thrive in these new lands. A second major confrontation erupts, this time a naval skirmish with the formidable Kalinago, fierce maritime warriors of the Eastern Caribbean, long-standing rivals of the Taíno, who refuse any foreign presence in their waters. The Malian fleet suffers significant damage. This setback forces the Malians to reconsider their approach. They begin to prioritize diplomacy and strategic alliances over outright conquest. They realize the true power lies in cooperation. They form alliances with disgruntled indigenous factions who seek Malian support against rival empires. These localized partnerships strengthen Malian influence without direct military occupation. Indigenous allies, now wielding Malian-forged iron weapons, begin to shift the balance of power against the very empires that had repelled Malian advances. The empire's focus shifts to cultural integration and the establishment of sister cities, rather than direct colonial rule. Malian law and education systems begin to blend with local customs. Trade continues to flourish, with new goods like maize, cassava, cacao, and peppers reaching West Africa. In return, West African crafts, sciences, and religions begin to root deeply in the Americas. Centuries pass. A unique Malinké-American civilization emerges, a vibrant tapestry of merged cultures, languages, and technologies. Its great cities dot the coastlines and river systems. This new civilization boasts an unparalleled synthesis of knowledge, combining Malian astronomy and metallurgy with indigenous agriculture and architectural prowess. Scholars flourish in sprawling universities. The influence of Islam, brought by the Malians, subtly blends with indigenous spiritual practices, forming new syncretic faiths. Respect for nature and ancestral worship remains strong. Politically, the Western Dominion evolves into a series of semi-autonomous kingdoms and city-states, bound by shared cultural identity and economic ties to the Malian heartland. A powerful Malinké-American council governs. Their maritime capabilities continue to grow, with ships regularly plying the Atlantic, connecting Africa to the Americas. They explore further, mapping the southern continents and western islands. When European explorers like Columbus eventually sail west, they find no pristine wilderness, but towering port cities, fortified harbors, and Malinké-American naval fleets, already positioned to meet them. They have been watching, they are ready. European attempts at conquest or exploitation are met with well-organized resistance, both military and diplomatic. The Malinké-Americans, with their Malian heritage, understand the art of empire. European attempts at conquest or exploitation are met with well-organized resistance, both military and diplomatic. The Malinké-Americans, with their Malian heritage, understand the art of empire. The influx of African gold and goods centuries earlier had also profoundly impacted Europe, leading to different patterns of trade and colonial aspirations. The scramble for the New World takes a vastly different turn. Mansa Musa never lived to see the civilization his ambition had set in motion. But his vision, that the world held more than the Sahara's edge, forged a bridge that forever altered the course of continents. This alternate history is a reminder. The wealth of West Africa was not just gold, it was vision, curiosity, and the courage to sail beyond the known horizon. Imagine the art, the science, the philosophies that could have blossomed when two worlds met as equals. Every empire has a story history forgot. This has been Gold Kingdoms. More are coming. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.